3 years after my last motorcycle trip to Scandinavia, finally I'm heading off to Sweden and Norway again. At 5:30 this morning I left from home, pretty much excited to be rolling again, this time on my Ural Sidecar Motorcycle. I reached Travemünde harbor far too early, and now I'm waiting for boarding, having a look around at what's going on at the harbor. Here we go. The ferry, Peter Pan, is ready for boarding. Everything perfectly organized. Slowly the vessel is filling, while outside the harbor life takes its course. Gradually I feel hungry. I had no morning breakfast today, so I'm glad when finally the restaurant opens and I can have breakfast. While I have my coffee, the ship departs. It's 9:30 a.m. and we are supposed to reach Trelleborg at about 6 p.m. Hence I'm looking forward to about 8.5 hours crossing the Baltic Sea. Personally, I always enjoy being in or on water, so I'm really looking forward to it. Meanwhile, I've finished my breakfast, so there is no reason for staying under deck. Let's go and enjoy the boat trip on deck. Finally we reach Trelleborg. A few drops of rain welcome us, but we have not yet landed. Now, patience is required. It takes almost half an hour until I can leave the ferry. And of course, the battery of my GoPro camera is now empty. Anyway, I'm in Sweden. First, I drive to the next gas station, have a look at the map, change the batteries of my camera, and off we go, heading north. I'll turn towards Oslo, although I actually want to avoid the city, but Oslo is, more or less, on my way to the mountains of Randane and to the Atlantic Road, my first destinations. When I left Trelleborg, it was already after 7 p.m. I had actually planned to ride 1 or 2 hours and then to look for a campsite. However, when I got to a campsite shortly after 9 p.m, it was already closed, barriers down, and I had no chance to enter. That was kind of a surprise, because from my last visit to Norway, I was used to finding campsites open all night. If you reach there late, you simply set up your tent and pay the next morning, or sometimes even just leave the money in a box. Anyway, it was different now here in Sweden along the E6. So I had to continue riding, and after a moment's reflection, I decided not to look for another campsite, but to drive all night and make it to Norway in one go. From Trelleborg in Sweden to Oslo, the capital of Norway, it's about 600 kilometers. Being on a Ural Sidecar motorcycle, that's quite a distance for one night, but making stops frequently, and with the help of many cups of coffee, I finally made it. When the sun colored the sky in the morning, I crossed the border to Norway. And that's where we'll continue in part 2 of this little video series.